Welcome to a live in-person duo cast with my dad here for game two of the Boston Celtics versus Dallas Mavericks. I'm glad to have my dad here up in Massachusetts. Good to hear everything. Just coming to you. What do you think, Dad? As I make sure all the technical things are going well, how do you feel about this game and being up here in Massachusetts?
So I'm feeling great. My only concern is just that game 2 thing the Celtics have. They go up 1 game to nothing generally, and they get comfortable, and they think they got it, and they lay an egg in game 2, which they did not do last series. I will say that. So I'm hoping with this being the championship, they really have learned that lesson. Do not allow that to happen because, you know, and Cap didn't like me saying this earlier, but I feel like if the Celtics win tonight, the series is over because I just with the Celtics being road killers and I believe winning something like 8, 9 straight road games in the playoffs, I don't see Dallas beating us 2 games in a row out in Dallas. So we win tonight, we even split, and it's 3 games to 1. And 3 games to 1 is the kiss of death. That's not we're not losing that. And, we accomplished our genuine sweep, which I originally predicted. So tonight's a big one. Even series games to me are the biggest ones. I preach that all the time. It's either gonna be a brand new series at 1-1, or we're just gonna have an absolute stranglehold series after tonight. So hopefully they come out with a sense of urgency and give just Mazzulla credit. His game plan was awesome. All the strength we heard about Dallas had coming into this series, Mazzulla came up with a plan to neutralize it. He was amazing. Those lively lobs, those gapped lobs, gone, non-existent. Those corner threes that we're killing teams with, nope. You're gonna take threes, you're gonna take from the middle or from the angles, not the corners, and then, you know, everybody else was just struggling. So Doncic is the only one who had a decent game
Yep.
numbers-wise,
Yep.
but he set a career low in assists per game, only 1 assist, and Kyrie Irving was just absolute
Wow.
garbage. So
Okay. So, I guess we can't go live on Facebook for a little bit. It's very interesting. So we got to figure out. Looks like 24-hour community ban from Facebook. Interesting. I guess that's what you're talking about.
yep.
No big deal. I guess we'll address that for game three,
Oh,
or
wow.
hopefully during this game we can get it appealed. Um, but like my dad said, Doncic, he had his points. He got his. What we really did with it is his assists. I don't know if any betting guys out there, the over under for Doncic staying at 1 assist or only having 1 assist is probably ridiculous in comparison, and we managed to make that happen, and a lot of that was understanding the strength of the players around Doncic. So, the lobs took away the lobs. Didn't see Lively, didn't see Gafford going off like they were, right? So that was absolutely massive, and then PJ Washington and Derrick Jones, keeping those guys out of the corner, making them take above the break threes. So on that court, the 2 straight lines to the corners and then the arc, huge for us. So forcing those guys out there. And there's some credit to there's a YouTube panel Thinking Basketball, and they talked about why did the Celtics hold this team that was lapping the field in lobs per game in the playoffs, how'd they hold them to 1 lob last game? And a big reason for that is they don't have their center on the Mavericks center when in the defensive half court. They're one of the few teams that has a guy like Jason Tatum who can put Jason Tatum on Gafford, on Lively. So then if Doncic wants to run the pick and roll with Gafford Lively, that means that he has to do it against, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown or Derek White and Jason Tatum. And that's not a good recipe. So that's huge. So then if he wants to get the big involved, now you got, the pick and roll with Doncic and PJ Washington, with Doncic and Derek Jones, and they can't get up like Lively and Gafford can. So, I mean, the game planning has been awesome. One big thing is that they were doing that earlier this year when they played them. Mazzulla was ahead of the game, and Tatum was on their bigs early in the year, and Kidd did not adjust. So, hopefully, they just don't know how to figure it out. And we see kind of a way that we match up really well against this team, and we do have their number.
Yeah, it's the one shameful thing about having the 2 days off in between each game, which I generally love because we have Al Horford, and that is huge for him. And Porzingis is coming back. I'm sure he could have used the extra day's rest. It gives kid in Dallas an extra day to watch film, try to figure out what adjustments can be made. Hopefully, they just can't make them. Hopefully, whatever they come up with doesn't work and just can't be stopped. The what Joe Mazzulla's applied to our defense, because if that's the case, the series is definitely over. But so we're gonna have to post something on Facebook, I guess.
Yeah.
So man, Facebook, I just can't stand it. There's absolute trash company. Like no reason why we should be banned for 24 hours. I have no idea what that is.
I don't know.
Just
Maybe it's
because
because we never do thumbnails. Maybe they don't like us using the Boston Celtics. I don't know.
I mean,
We'll have to. I guess.
it's just a joke.
Yeah.
I just can't stand them. Like, the crap. You see people posting stuff they get banned for, and it just doesn't say anything wrong at all. It's like, really, what's going on? Anyway, I look for I look for Jason Tatum to have a much better game tonight because if Dallas has half a brain, they'll they'll look at their last game and go, "We tried doubling Tatum, tripling Tatum. He just kept kicking it out." And yeah, we did force an extra couple, turnovers from him doing that, but it ultimately burned us because when he did kick it out to open guys, what happened? Derek White was hitting him, Holiday was hitting him, Porzingis was definitely, it was so. I would expect that if they're gonna not double and triple team Tatum anywhere near as much as they did in game one, they might start doing that to Jaylen Brown. So look for maybe a swap there where Brown has a struggling game tonight because they put more emphasis on stopping him and Tatum to be a little more free, a little more space. So
Yeah. I mean, it'd be interesting, right? Because one of the reasons why they can quadruple team Tatum is because he has his hand in the ball. Brown, I don't recall too many plays where Brown had his hand in the ball where they could double or triple team him, right?
yeah.
More often than not, we're giving him the ball and he goes. So he's not really driven out the clock, which I really appreciate. He's been slashing and attacking in a major way. So, I mean, Tatum on the same, flip the coin, he's self-aware that he had a pretty rough game when it came to turnovers.
Yeah.
So that's something he wants to fix. He wants to address. And if Tatum doesn't turn over the ball over 6 times, that 25-point win might be a 35-point win, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
so there's adjustments on the Celtics side that we can make here. And, I understand we outshot them in a pretty major way from the three-point line. They did very poorly, but we didn't really have a great game from the three-point line ourselves. At the start, we did,
Yeah.
but it sort of fell off. I mean, Eric White had those two at the start, but he finished 1 for 6 after that. Yeah,
We did 38%. 30% is okay, but
not bad.
it's not bad, but it's not great considering we started out on 5-3. So this feels like one of those games where, so much attention is gonna be focusing on Porzingis, Tatum and Brown. Like, this is like one of those sneaky Drew Holiday games where, next thing you know, Drew Holiday drops 22 on and something close to a triple double. So, hey, Dallas, pick your poison because this is what we said was our biggest advantage. Not that us, everyone was saying like, "Oh, Boston, they're just so much deeper," after the top two players on each team. Well, this is what it is. So, I mean, who's it going to be tonight? Who's going to be like really the hero? Clearly, Porzingis was the third star last game. Who's it going to be tonight? I bet it won't be Porzingis. I bet it'll be either Holiday or it'll be Derek White.
Yeah.
So, or maybe in Horford. Could even be the old man.
Yeah, I have a question, and this is something I've been wondering. There's 2 games rest, 2 full days rest between games. Do you think that benefits the Celtics more or the Mavericks? And it's a big reason why in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I want him just because of Horford and Porzingis coming off the injury. Who knows? He has to be sore, even though they only played 20 minutes. Like, I love that they only played 20 minutes. So, I'll take the 2 days. The only thing I'm not crazy about, like I said, though, is it gives Dallas an extra day to watch film, try to make adjustments, and we'll have to see. 'Cause I'm anticipating the Celtics not changing anything because everything they did worked. If it wasn't for that lapse that the Celtics had in the third quarter, that game is an absolute annihilation.
Yeah.
So, that's the only thing that kept Dallas in that game, like made it, only an 18-point game was, we had Celtics had a pretty terrible stretch for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think really, really great point mentioned in that third quarter. One of my favorite quotes of the week was Jaylen Brown saying the game started when we were only up by 8 points. And from that point on, we outscored them in a major way. And I feel like the Boston Celtics team of last year with that same DNA in it, no offense to Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon,
Yeah.
um, I don't think they, say, "Hey, you know what? Let's build up another 20 plus point lead,"
Yeah.
because that's exactly what they ended up doing. So I absolutely loved it. They responded in a way that I'm not used to as a Celtics fan, and it gives me a lot of hope. Starting off with 0-0 today, that they're going to come out with a level of tenacity and killer instinct. I got a lot of faith, and you know I think Doncic was not prepared for how much he's gonna actually have to play because it's not he's not playing half the game anymore. We are pretty much putting him, in the defensive every single possession. He gave up 23 points last game. I think that was the write-up. 23 points on his defense
Mm.
when he only scored 30. That's
Yeah.
not great. And he also messed with a lot of his teammates by not sticking to his guy, letting people go by him and not rotating. There's if you guys ever have time, check out Thinking Basketball, check out Angry Coaching or Awful Coaching. These guys really break down the quit in that Mavericks team last game.
Oh,
Kyrie
yeah.
Irving, Doncic not rotating, especially in today's NBA. If you're switching everything, you got to rotate. You got to get across the court, get to your guy, and fill in the gaps. And I think that's something Missoula is big on. I don't know if Jason Kidd is pushing that or if his stars just aren't absorbing it. Either way, I think that's a good sign for us.
It is. It definitely is. And, another thing, don't overlook the fact that Doncic's 30 points, he took 26 shots. That is not efficient at all. That's not great at all. So I mean, we dialed up a perfect recipe. Good job, Missoula. Let's see if it works again. But this Dallas team, they lost their first game I believe the first two series, and then they came back strong in game two against the Clippers and against Oklahoma City.
Yep.
So you know, everyone's feeling good, about the C's after that first game. I'm guilty of it as well. Let's see tonight, though, because I just hope they come out with the same figure they did last game. They cannot think because they dominated Dallas basically for the entire game that, oh, this series isn't going to be anything because that's all it takes. Everything we worked for last game is out the door.
Out the window, yeah.
If we lose tonight,
Back
to
at 0.
1-1,
Back to 0.
and we lost home court advantage.
Comes a best of 5. That's it.
Yeah.
So, no, I totally agree. Now, this is where I think the experience comes in because Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington, Gafford, Tim Hardaway, Kleber, all these guys. This is their first time. This is not the first time for almost anybody on our roster outside of Porzingis. And Porzingis was the opposite. Like he had a wonderful first game in this championship. So it's going to be interesting to see how these lower tier guys bounce back. I know they bounced back earlier. I know they're battle tested. They've had some really tough series, but it's a different ballgame in the NBA Finals, right?
Yeah.
I mean, especially since if you're a Maverick fan, would you say like that this season was a success if they get swept here?
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
If you're nobody, not even any Maverick fan expected them to be here in the finals. I mean, it's just gravy for them. House money, all those cliches. It is. It just, hey, when you get here, you want to win.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
But it's really, it is. That's one of the advantages Dallas has. There's no pressure on them whatsoever, and all the pressure on the Celtics because they heard about. That's all they heard about is 2 years ago. How many times Tatum and Brown has been to the conference finals and have yet to seal the deal, and they're soft, no killer instinct, and everyone's picking Dallas. So all the pressure is really on the Celtics, despite being heavy favorites. So Dallas is playing loose and free, but at the end of the day, in the NBA, it's all about talent, and the Celtics are just more talented. Period.
Yep.
And again, they've shown so many signs throughout this year that they have learned their lessons with the little things. So this is the ultimate last test. This is like the final at the end of the semester.
Yeah.
This is it. This is their final test. So we'll see. They've been showing maturity and growth and all of those things that drove us insanely in Celtics fans over the last 7 years. They've been conquering them all. Now, could they perform on the biggest stage? And part of that is showing playing every defensive possession like it's the last minute of a tie game. And they did pretty well with that last game, holding
100% blocks.
them to 75 points, really the starters, when they left the game with, like, 5 minutes left. So, do it again. Don't let up because you won game 1, please, Celtics.
Yeah, and I think this team, I don't think this team has that in them, and I think this is something you've been concerned about a lot this year is, like, letting up. Don't let the foot off the gas. Don't
Yeah.
they haven't. They've like, this is everything we wanted last year from the Celtics team. You know, we anticipated a lot from them. We expected quick series. They've handled their business every single time. 5 games, 5 games, 4 games.
Yeah.
That is I mean, you couldn't have written it better,
No,
right?
we couldn't have.
And, you know, if it's odd how much they're getting dogged for handling their business. And, I mean, this Mavericks team, again, we matched up so well against them compared to that Timberwolves team. I understand the Timberwolves team was big, you know, for their moment, but it was having the lack of big skill and the lack of post presence on this Mavericks team was huge for us, and then having, you know, all their skill in scoring siloed into 2 players when we have this amazing defense.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's a meatball. This is the series for us. I am I'm so looking forward to this game. You know, we had some of the best basketball I've ever watched last game, from a Celtics fan's perspective, some really electric basketball. Hoping that continues. I'm also really curious what way this game goes. Tony Brothers is the referee. I know he's not a big fan of Tatum. I also know he's not a big fan of Doncic. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of game Brothers calls early. Yeah, Tony Brothers.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Doncic is just as big of a crier as Tatum is as far as calls.
and
So
Tatum's gotten a lot better. Doncic is still,
I
you know,
tell you this for the Celtics, they've conceded. They've completely given up arguing. Like they've gotten the message that, yep, I got fouled again and it wasn't called. That's just the way it is. There's no sense in arguing. So
yeah.
that I mean, at least they, good. Get on the ref's good side. Every advantage counts, and Doncic wasn't talking crap last game. He gave the crowd one look when they were starting to come back.
The crowd a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping he kind of, if he has a little stretch, I'm hoping he starts feeling a little brave and starts talking smack, especially to Jaylen Brown, because I feel like that'll light a fire on the Brown. Tatum, it might actually work on Tatum. I don't know. We'll have to see. I would love to see the day come where Tatum has a fire lit under him, where he gets, mad, maybe pushes
it's
another
happened plenty
player.
of time. Well, he doesn't push anybody.
Well,
But I mean,
or
he's
get in someone's face. I
Yeah.
would love that. I mean,
yeah.
hopefully Doncic can bring that out of the Celtics because, man, that'll just we saw what happened when our energy's higher than theirs last game.
Yeah.
So let's keep it there. Let's not let them lull us, lull the Celtics to sleep by thinking, oh, we
Yeah.
got these guys, no problem. We want them going for the throat.
I think one of the biggest things about the Mavs is just how obvious it is that they're scared. They're already resorting after one game to gamesmanship, and I think
Yeah.
everyone's heard it in the news cycle.
Yeah.
Jason Kidd trying to split up, trying to do something that they've been trying, in the media's been trying to do for years, right? So good luck with that.
Especially in the last 10 days off. I mean, just creating made up stories.
Oh.
Oh, is there a rift between Tatum and Brown? Look at Tatum's face when Brown won the conference MVP. They're just literally trying to make stuff up.
Yeah.
I mean, to fill air and to probably break up this dynamic duo. And here's Jason Kidd,
An NBA coach.
again, an NBA coach saying, when everyone knows Tatum's the best player on it. I mean, he's just the most talented. He's the best player on the team. Saying that, trying to cause a rift between Jaylen Brown and Tatum.
It means they're scared. It means they're scared. And then also the injury report coverage. Doncic, come on, man. Stop being a little baby.
Gosh.
You were active the whole time. I understand you got to do the injury report. Stay probable. Don't this garbage of going questionable, get into the media cycle just to flaunt up your little legacy. It's just so garbage. Play basketball. Him hobbling up the court and all that. For me, it's just all this theatrics. This isn't the WWE. Just play your game. Stop acting like there's some sort of a script. We'll see. Oh, my buddy Jay, just want you to know, I'm here, win, lose, or draw. Jay, you are nowhere. You're not at work on Friday after you lost. You weren't in the post game after we won. I was this close, Jay, to calling the local authorities and figuring out if we get a wellness check on Jay. Sydney's telling you to get out of your room, but
So this means we're not even going to be able to do the post game on Facebook Live.
It means we're not gonna be able to do the post game on Facebook Live. Yeah.
Trash bag organization.
Yeah, screw Facebook.
I mean, give me a damn break.
Yeah. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. I guess we're gonna go get ready for the game. 5 minutes past. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics.